Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm colouring up this beautiful image from Tattoo Darlings by Lynn. So let's pop in and have a look. So guys, I've printed this image up on some expressive blending card, A5 size this time around. I'm going to be using these colours for a challenge in our group. So we've been having a monthly challenge. This month was decided that was either angels or fairies, and we were to use these colours as a colour scheme. So I'm going to try and use these colours for that. And it's good to sort of do a bit of a challenge, I think, because it makes us think a little bit about what we're doing and plan what we're going to do. So I was really happy to sort of give it a go, and it came out absolutely amazing. So I hope you guys like it. So I've got my skin colors and my color palette colors there, and we're just going to begin by doing the skin first. So I'm going to go in and do all of the shadow areas first with my E04. So I've just popped this on faster speed for you just to flick through the sections here. So just wanted to bring up that this week we've had some great videos already go up. We've had the top 10. We did a live video on Monday morning doing an image from Pop Manga colouring book, so that was a bit of fun. We're going to be finishing that colour along on Friday, so we'll have another video coming then, and obviously the top 10 as well, and this video this week. So we've got a lot going on. This one here, I'm going to pop the colour list on Patreon, so if you want to have a look at that, you can have a look there. I won't be doing a conversion chart for this one because it was a challenge. I'm just going to tell you guys what I used, and you can go along and do that one for yourselves. So I've got a couple of pretty images coming up. I'm really excited about some of them that are coming out. I've done quite a few pencil ones this time around, so you'll be happy to hear that. At a little bit of a detriment to the hands, but you know, we push on. So I'm just coming in, marked all out these shadow areas now, and I made sure I just sort of marked a little bit of an area for the nose and under the chin and things like that as well. So with our colour along video on Monday, there was the announcement of all of our winners for the 1000 subscriber giveaway. There is still one giveaway going, which is for Dia Lenahan's 3 books, 2 as digital files and 1 as a physical copy. So if you're wanting to jump in and have a look at that, the links are still in the descriptions, and also I've posted it up on my page and also in the group as well. So I'm coming in now with some E11, and I'm just going over the top of the previous color and extending this a little bit further out. So we're just sort of blending off and softening off the color that we've previously done with this one. So we're trying to sort of come in and fill out all of the white area. So each time we come in with a different color, we're just bringing or closing in that white area a little bit more. So just using that one now. I'm going to pop it a little bit faster for you as well, and then we'll get to the next color. If you have any questions or you'd like to join the group, all of the links are in the description below, so just pop down the little arrow underneath the video, pop down into the description there, and there's a lot of links and things like that there. You can see Patreon, you can see where you can get the book Tattoo Darlings from, all those sorts of things in there as well. So go and have a look down in there. Also too, if you haven't subscribed already, click on the subscribe button and notifications if you would like to receive notifications of when I do upload new videos. So I was unable to schedule the live video for Friday, but I have sort of added a little event on my page and also in the group. So if you want to join that too, just pop in and you can have a look at that. So it'll just give you a reminder when your event's about to start. So, and also hopefully it comes up in your time zone as well. So I'm just popping in now, and I'm just sort of filling out a few more of the details. So you can see that I'm starting to add a little bit of shape into the cheeks and under the eyes and things like that. So we're trying to create a little bit of depth in the further away areas and some light or highlights in the areas that would be closer to us. So I'm just going in and filling that out now. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some E21 now and go over the top of that colour and just bring this a little bit further out as well. So we're really starting to close in the gaps, and we're just taking away a lot more of that white now. We've only got the very highlighted sort of areas to go. So I'm going to bring in over the top of this another colour to blend that out, and then we'll blend off with the last colour there. So the next colour I'm going to use is E00. So we're going to go over the top of the previous colours that we've already done, and we're going to bring this almost all the way out now over the top of the leftover white areas. So we're going to leave a tiny little bit still white, and we're going to come back in with some E000 and go over the entire area. So we're still just trying to blend out those darker colours at the moment before we finish off with that E000. So now we've done that, we're just going to soften everything off with the E000. So coming out from the highlighted areas all the way out over the dark areas as well. So we want to do another layer just to get in the depth that we would have in a face like this. So a lot of her hairs are over the side of her face there, so we want to make sure that we make that nice and dark, so that you can tell that that's a shadow area. So to do that, we're going to just build up another layer of color over the top of the previous one, so exactly the same colors in the same color order, but just repeating those steps now for this second layer. So I'm using E04 to do the shadow areas first. So just going over the same area that we marked out earlier on with the first layer. Sometimes with this layer I will just neaten things up a little bit, and I will add a little bit more features if I feel that it's needing those things as well. Now we've done that, we're going to bring that E11 back in over the top of that previous colour and just extending it further out again. So we're trying to smooth it off now. This layer will actually be a little bit quicker because it's already got that base layer down. So really the ink is sitting a little bit further or closer, to the top of the paper surface. So it's going to be a little bit easier to manipulate and blend in because you've got that extra layer there. So just coming over the top of that and extending it further out towards the highlight again. And as I said before, if there are any areas that I think needed extra or was lacking, I will now be filling this in a little bit further. Okay, so we're swapping that out now for E21 and we're going to go over the same areas as before and we're going to extend this a little bit further out. So you can really see now that we've got some depth starting to form and we've also got some real highlights starting to appear as well. So just finishing this colour off now. So swapping that out again now for E00. So this will be the last colour before the highlighted colour. So we've almost covered the whole area with this one now and it should look nice and smooth and we should be able to see shouldn't be able to see the transition between the colours. It should sort of happen quite smoothly now that we've popped this one on. So we're just finishing off our last skin colour now using E000 to do that. I'm going from out of the highlight areas all the way out over those dark areas as well. And we've just created that really nice depth and it kind of makes the skin look a little bit shiny, I guess, too, like smooth, and she's got just beautiful highlights and shading in there now. So because we're doing the challenge colours, I only had some light pink, a light purple, a dark purple, and a dark pink, sorry, to use. So for the blush, I would normally use R20 in here, but because I've already picked my colours for the challenge, V12 was the lightest one that I had. So I'm coming in over the top of the cheek, sides of the cheek areas there for blush, and also a little bit of eyeshadow there as well with this one. I'm going to blend it out with the E000 to make sure I get that nice smooth blend between the two of them as well. So just bringing the E000 over the top, so you can see it just smooths it off, so there's not such a rigid line there. Okay, so I've got V09. This is the first colour in the challenge colours. It is the darkest colour that I have aside from the dark pink. So I'm just going to go in and use this for the eyes. So I'm just going around the top of the eyes there. I'm not worried about the pupil because I'm going to put some black in there to make that a little bit larger. So I'm just coming around the edges and I'm leaving sort of the bottom section there to put in some of the lighter colours. So the next colour I've got is V17. So I tried to pick colours that were very, very similar to the challenge colours in the picture in the challenge. So if you're wanting to see that, that's also in the group under the album section. But it was kind of more of a dark purple with only a light pink and a light purple sort of colour. So I've picked the V12 for the lightest colour there, and I'm just coming in over the top of the V17 and the V09 and just popping this on the bottom of the eye there just to add a little bit of lightness and shade to the top parts of the eye. I'm going to use a white gel pen at the end as well to put some more highlights into it. I'm just using the black marker to go in and just mark out the pupil area and make that a little bit darker. So for my darkest pink, I've picked RV69 to do the shadow and shade areas. So I'm just coming into the lips to fill that out now. Just sort of creating a little bit of depth in the middle of the lip as well as on the edges and the bottom of the lip. I'm going to blend it out with the next lightest pink, which I've got RV06. And then the only other colour that I haven't used is the green. Now I'll come back in with the green in a little bit to fill out some of the background and also the leaves in the rose and things like that as well. So if I didn't mention before, this one's called Rosalinda, which is a really pretty name, but she is out of the tattoo book. I have a request for a couple of tattoo images this month, so I may do another one from the book. Just deepening up the darker areas again with the RV69. So it was a little bit harder to do this one because I didn't have all of the range of highlights and dark colours. So this is why it is called a challenge. It's so that you can sort of create something out of what you've got there. So it does also prove too that you can create beautiful images out of a limited palette. You don't have to have loads of different colours to be able to create a nice image. So I'm coming back in with the RV69 and we're going to start to create some purple and pink hair. So I'm going to sort of change the colour halfway through, so sort of ombre but not, because there's no sort of blend into each colour, they just change. So I'm using pinks for the top part of the hair and I'm going to use purple on the bottom part. So I'm just going in and lining out all of the shadow areas and I'm following along the artist drawn lines. So I'm just sort of, it's a little bit kind of grayscale in the hair, so I'm going to make sure that I go over those areas with the darkest colour. So I've done half of the head, so I'm going to do the bottom half with the V09. So the same thing, just going into the shadow areas, and I'm flicking my marker out towards the middle section to create a little bit of depth in the darker areas, and then it will be a little bit lighter in the middle areas there to have my highlight. So I'm just coming in and doing the purple. I'm going to put a tiny bit into the pink as well, so that we've got a little bit of both colours throughout. So I'm going to swap down to the lighter pink now, which is RV06, and I'm just going to fill in some more areas of hair here. I'm just going to flick my marker out towards the middle part of each of these sections of hair, just creating some nice lines for texture and leaving this small gap in the middle there for highlights as well. So I'm going to move on to the next lightest purple, which was the V17, and I'm going to do the same thing in the purple side of the hair as well. So just coming in from either side of each section and flicking my marker out towards the middle of that section of hair just to create the highlight in the middle. So because I've only got that light pinky purple color there for the highlight color, I'm going to use this V12 for both the violet and the pink side. So I'm just going in over the top of the previous colors and flicking out over that highlighted area now. Some sections will still have a little bit of white in them, and I'm also going to put a couple of flecks of white gel pen through at the end as well. So I'm just going to go through and do this on the bottom and the top of the hair as well. So now that I've done that, I'm going to create a little bit more shadow with the previous colors I've used. So I'm just going to do like a second layer over on some of those sections of hair and add a little bit of extra pink in the bottom part and maybe a little bit of purple in the top as well. So I'm starting with the RV69 and just bringing that into those shadow areas again, just to deepen them up a little bit because they're a bit desaturated now with those lighter colors, and I want that color to be nice and bright. And now I'm just going to use that V09 and do the purple section. So just flicking a couple of the purple flicks out from the pink side as well. Just going to add a little bit more of the RV69 into the purple section down the bottom there, just to deepen that up a little bit as well. So the shadow areas on the purple weren't quite as dark as what the pink is, so I'm using this over the top of the V09 to darken it up more. So now just using the same colors as before, just blending that darker color out a little bit with the lighter colors. So I've got V17, And then I've got the RV06 again. And I'm just going to lighten up some areas with the V12 again now. So just helping to blend some of those areas back in again, and creating a little bit of highlights through those areas. So putting it on the eyes again here just to lighten those up a little bit more. We're definitely going to need some white gel pen in there just to brighten them and put a little bit of light reflection on there as well. So we've got the flowers to do at the bottom now. We're going to be quite rough and quick with it. I'm not going into a lot of detail with them, just enough to sort of show them and to show that they're there. And then also we've got the wings in the background there as well because she's a fairy, so I will be doing the wings as well. So just thinking about the color palette that we've got here, I haven't used any green on the rest of her. I'm only going to use the green in the leaves, on the flowers down here, and also I'm going to use some of that in the background as well. So just before we go in and do some detail around that flower, some of the arm is actually showing through there. So I want to put a little bit of skin color in there, just to show that it is a tattoo on her skin. So I've just picked the E21 to put a little bit of that through there. It's a sort of darker than the E00, so just still putting a little bit of color in there, but also not putting too much because we've got a lot going on already in that area. So just to show, I guess, that it is skin color. So I've just swapped that out to add a little bit of E11 as well, and I'm just sort of dabbing this into the in-between areas. So I'm just going to do a mixture of these colours throughout the flowers, on the petals and things like that, starting with V12, and I'm just going to dab it into areas within the flowers, and I've also done it in like a rays shining out from the tattoo as well, because there's some line work there as well that I wanted to fill some colour into as well. So I've used the V12 to do that. So for the green, I've picked YG11. I think it is actually a little bit light, so I probably could have gone for a little bit of a darker green, but I've got YG11 and I'm going to go in and fill out all of the leaves on this now and all of the stems on the flowers. I'm also going to put a little bit of this in the wings and, as I said, in the background as well. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm going to go back to that V12 and dab a little bit of this colour through the wings, lining out those little lines and also putting some through the flowers there as well. Just going to make those lines on the wings a little bit darker first. I've got RV06 to do that. And coming into the middle parts of the flowers and the shadow areas of the flowers with this one as well. So coming into these more detailed areas is where I struggled with the limited colour palette, where I would have usually used yellow and perhaps some other sort of colours through the flowers. I've had that limited colour sort of selection. It kind of made it easier as well because it meant I didn't have to go and look for different colors for the flowers and things like that as well. But it can be challenging to your mind to go in and do things in the same color like this and not feel like that you should be doing another color. So I've just alternated a few colors in there. I'm using the purple here, the V17, just to put some darker shadow areas in on the rose and also in the middle of each of those flowers there as well. So also lining the crease lines of the flowers. So we're not going to get a lot of detail in here, but we still want to put some of these colors through the whole area, and we want them to stand out as well as sort of, I guess, blend well together as well. So I've got the V12 again. I'm just going to go over the top of those areas that I've missed and just dab this color in to create a little bit of depth and highlight through those flowers as well. So I really did enjoy doing this, and it really did challenge me because I'm used to using lots of different colors, but it was really nice to be able to just, I guess, take the easy way out and use little colors as possible here. So I'm just going back to the darker colours to put a couple of layers in there to get those shadows areas nice and deep. I didn't want to use the V09 or the RV69 in here because I believe that the areas are too little, and I didn't want to sort of, I guess, have the marker bleed right out into those lighter colours. So I have left those darker ones out for now, just so that we don't lose any of the detail in there as well. So what's left to do, there's a little bit of flower on her neck there, and also to I just want to do the background. I'm going to use the YG11 and the V12 for the background, so doing the top part in the green and the bottom in the purple colour, and then I'm just going to put some highlights in with my white gel pen as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and it is a little bit different, and it is nice to sort of have that little bit of a challenge. So if you're interested in joining along, you're welcome to come along and join the group challenge. The winner of the group challenge gets to pick the following month's topic and color palette, so something to keep in mind too. If you do become a winner of one of the month's challenges and you pick the following months, you still can enter, but you won't be in the draw to do the following month, obviously, because you'll have 2 months in a row then. So I wanted to sort of give everybody a little bit of a chance to have a go at it and enjoy the process as well. So if you're interested, have a think about what colours you might like to use in case you do have to do the next one. So I'm going to do the background here for now, and then I'll come back in and we'll say goodbye. So I'm just finishing off the background here. I just sort of flicked my marker in a couple of different directions to get a little bit of texture through there, and I'm going to use the Colorless blender just to sort of blend out the little parts in the middle where the two colors overlapped. So that's everything that I wanted to show you guys today. I will pop a public post up in Patreon with the color list, and I can also put the color list in, or on, I should say, my blog, so you guys can have a look and check that out there. All of the links will be in the description below. So catch up with you next time, guys, and thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Vero. Thanks, guys.